When you hear the word economics, what do you imagine? Dry formulas from a textbook, stock market traders, or simply the prices in a store that keep going up? Imagine boarding a plane that flies around the world. From the window, you see very different scenes: farmlands in India, factories in Germany, tech startups in Silicon Valley, markets in Nigeria. At first glance, these may look like unrelated snapshots of life, but together, they are all part of one vast system. And this system is called the economy. Most people think economics is either too complicated or that it's simply about money. But money is only the tip of the iceberg. Economics is the study of how people, businesses, and governments use limited resources to meet their needs. The key word here is limited. Time, money, energy, even our attention. All of these are resources. Put simply, economics is the science of choice. Why choice? Because resources, time, money, land, technology, are always limited, but our wants and needs are unlimited. Economics helps explain how societies decide what to produce and for whom, how resources are distributed, and why some nations thrive while others remain in poverty. You might ask, what does this have to do with me? The truth is, economics affects us every single day. When we choose what to buy in the supermarket, when a company decides how much to pay its workers, when governments set taxes or minimum wages, when coffee prices rise because of drought in Brazil. Economics isn't an abstract theory from a textbook. It's the explanation of why the world around us looks the way it does. To understand economics better, it helps to look briefly into history. The word economy comes from the Greek oikonomia, which means management of the household. At first, it literally referred to how a family should manage its resources wisely. Over time, economics evolved along with society. At first, people exchanged goods without money. This was barter. Then came coins and markets, which made trade possible across larger regions. The Industrial Revolution introduced factories, machines, and mass production. And today, we live in a global economy shaped by digital technologies, international trade, and financial markets. So, what is economics today? At its core, it is the study of choice in a world of limited resources. And resources here mean not only money, but also time, labor, land, and technology. Imagine someone with just $10. They can't buy everything at once, so they must choose: pizza or a book. A company with a limited number of workers must decide what should it produce and how should it allocate its resources. Even a country with land, people, and factories makes decisions every day. Should it invest more in roads, energy, or innovation? Economics helps us understand these choices and the consequences they bring. Every society faces three fundamental questions: what to produce? More food or more technology? How to produce? With machines or by hand? Cheaply or sustainably? For whom to produce? For everyone equally, or mainly for those who can pay more? These questions affect the lives of millions every single day. For example, a startup might decide whether to create an affordable smartphone for the mass market or a premium one for a select few. A country must choose whether to invest more in infrastructure or in healthcare. In today's economy, there are 5 key agents that interact with one another. First, households, people like us, who work, earn income, and consume goods and services. Second, firms, businesses that produce products, provide services, and create jobs. Third, the government. It collects taxes, provides roads, schools, hospitals, and sets the rules of the game. Fourth, the financial sector, banks and investment institutions that manage money flows, credit, and investments. And finally, the external sector, international trade, imports and exports, and global markets. Imagine how all of this works together. Households work and earn wages, which they use to buy goods from firms. Firms pay their suppliers, and suppliers pay their workers. Banks lend to both businesses and individuals. Governments collect taxes and invest in infrastructure. And at the same time, countries trade with one another, exchanging goods, money, and resources. This creates a vast and complex circular flow, but when broken down into parts, it becomes easier to understand. On the top right, you'll see our video on the circular flow of income. Check it out if you'd like to explore this in more detail. Economics can be studied at two levels. Microeconomics looks at the choices of individuals and companies. Why do people choose this particular phone? Why does a cafe set its price this way and not another? Macroeconomics looks at the big picture, entire countries, or even the global economy. Why are prices rising in all stores at the same time? How do global crises affect every nation? Microeconomics tells the stories of people and businesses, while macroeconomics reveals the global trends and forces that shape everyone's lives. To see how powerful economics can be, think of a few major crises. In the 1930s, the Great Depression in the United States led to mass unemployment, bankruptcies, and a sharp drop in living standards for millions. In 2008, the global financial crisis began with problems in the mortgage market, but quickly spread worldwide, forcing banks, companies, and governments to take extraordinary measures. Economic crises show just how interconnected the global system is, and how problems in one area can ripple across the entire world. Today, new challenges are emerging. Artificial intelligence is reshaping labor markets. Some jobs are disappearing, while new ones are being created. Climate change affects crops, energy, and national budgets. And the way societies respond to these challenges will shape the economic future of us all. Put simply, economics helps us avoid being passengers on a plane with our eyes closed. It explains why gasoline prices go up, how central bank decisions affect us, why crises sometimes occur, and how to make smarter financial decisions. Understanding economics is a form of intellectual power. It helps separate facts from populism and empty promises. So, economics is not just about numbers and graphs. It's about all of us. It's about how societies decide how to live today and what their tomorrow will look like. If you'd like to dive deeper, our channel has much more: modern trends, global stories, and simple explanations of complex processes. So make sure to subscribe and don't miss the upcoming videos.